And now we are going to show the droplet vitrification process for the shoot tips. The shoot tips are going to be removed from the pre-culture medium, being very careful not to put any pressure on the shoot tips, but just lifting them off of the medium and into the loading solution. The shoot tips can be easily damaged at this point, so great care should be taken when they are removed from the pre-culture medium and placed into the loading solution. Once they're in the loading solution, give them a little bit of stirring occasionally. And after 20 minutes at room temperature, the loading solution is removed, being careful not to get any of the shoot tips into the pipette. And the loading solution is replaced with half-strength PVS2, and that will be kept at room temperature for 30 minutes. And again, give them a gentle stir occasionally to make sure all of the shoot tips are being treated evenly. If there's any shoot tips that stick to the side of the dish or beaker or whatever container that you're using, be sure to push them back into the solution. Now we're going to remove the half-strength PVS2. A sterile Pasteur pipette with a cotton plug is a good tool to use for this. Try to get all of the solution out as much as possible. Now we're going to add the ice cold PVS2 full strength to the shoot tips. And then we're give it a little stir, and we are going to move the dish into the ice. Crushed or flaked ice works best for this. If you can gently embed the plate into the ice and secure it, then you can gently stir the container. There you can see all the shoot tips floating in PVS2. Now we're going to prepare the foil strips that the shoot tips will be placed on into a thin layer of PVS2. If you want to make a small crimp in the foil strip, sometimes that is helpful in removing the foil strip with the shoot tips when you're finally ready to place them into the liquid nitrogen. We're going to put the prepared foil strips into the ice as well so that everything is nice and cold. And now we are going to take a small amount of PVS2 and form either small droplets or one long droplet. Sometimes it's easier to make one long droplet instead of trying to make several smaller droplets. In the end, it doesn't really matter too much as long as there's a thin layer of PVS2 that the shoot tips are sitting in so that they will be adhered to the foil strip once they are frozen. And now we are transferring the shoot tips from the PVS2 into the droplet or droplets, being very careful to handle them gently so as to not damage them. It's easier to just lift them out of the PVS2 instead of trying to grab them with the tips of the forceps and risk doing some damage. There you can see all the shoe tips within the long droplet. And it is a good idea to try to space them out a little bit if you can. Once they are on the foil strip with the PVS2, and you can also remove a little bit of the PVS2 so that there's just a very thin layer remaining. And once you're ready, they are quickly plunged into liquid nitrogen, taking the forceps and quickly plunging them in, move them around for a few seconds, and they're pretty much instantly frozen. Now we are preparing the labeled vials, transferring the foil strips with the shoot tips into the vials. So once the vials are in a container of liquid nitrogen, the cap is removed. Any liquid nitrogen that's in the vial is removed, and then the lid is placed back onto the vial and tightened. There's another picture of the foil strip being put inside of the vials, and here we have the vials filled with foil strips.